body and its movement. Let us start by finding out the movements which we make daily and then try to move the various parts of the body. Activity 2. To show that we can bend or move our body only at those points where the bones meet. Things needed: scale, string. Method: ask your friend to tie a wooden scale and your arm together so that the elbow is at the center. Even if you try hard, you cannot bend your elbow. Conclusion: a single bone cannot be bent. The different bones joined together at the elbow make our elbow to bend. Joints. Bones are joined with each other at different places. The place where two or more bones join is called a joint. Bones are joined by tough, flexible bands of elastic tissues called ligaments. The surface of bones forming a joint is lined with a layer of smooth, rubbery tissues called cartilage. This cartilage acts like a soft cushion so that the bones do not rub against each other and damage themselves due to friction between their surfaces. The joints in the body are divided into three main groups: immovable or fixed joints. These joints do not allow any movement between the bones. For example, the bones of the skull, except the lower jaw bones, are interlocked with each other and held together by fibrous cartilage, which do not allow any movement. Slightly movable joints. These joints allow very little movement due to the presence of a pad of flexible cartilage between their ends. For example, joints present between adjacent vertebrae in the backbone or spine allow only slight movements. This kind of joint provides more support. Freely movable joints. Most of the joints in the human body are freely movable. These joints allow free movement of bones in various directions. Movable joints can be further classified into the following four different types, depending on the type and extent of movement they allow. Ball and socket joints, hinge joints, pivot joints, gliding joints. The ball and socket joint. If we raise our arm to our shoulder's height and rotate it in all directions, we can swing our arm like a wheel. This is because in this type of joint, the ball-shaped end of one bone fits into the hollow cup-shaped socket of the other bone. The bone that fits into the socket is free to move in all directions about the joint. This joint allows maximum movement in all directions. The joint of the upper arm and the shoulder bone is an example of this type of joint. Similarly, the hip joint of the leg bone, femur, and the hip bone is also a ball and socket joint. Hinge joint. You must have observed that doors are attached to the wall by metal clips called hinges. They allow the door to be opened or closed. A hinge joint is like the hinges in a door. We have hinge joints in our elbows, fingers, knees, and toes. They allow movement of the bones in one direction, that is, up and down, or back and forth movement. The elbow joint, a kind of hinge joint, allows us to bend our forearm and straighten it. It does not allow us bend our arm backwards or sideways. Pivot joint. In such joints, a bony ring rotates around a pivot axis or stick-like bone, which is fixed. This allows twisting movement about the joint. The joint where the skull, near the neck area, joins the first vertebra of our spine is a pivotal joint. It allows us to bend our head forward and backward and turn the head to our right or left. Similarly, the joints of the forearm, where the two bones, radius and ulna, twist around each other, are pivotal joints. Gliding joint. This kind of joint allows bones to glide over each other, providing little movement in all directions. The ends of both the bones at the joint are either flat or slightly curved to allow gliding or sliding movements. In our body, the gliding joints are found between the wrist and the carpals and between the ankle and the tarsals.